It's not every day that a billionaire responds to one of your tweets on Twitter, but that's just what's happened to me after I messaged Patrick Collison, the co-founder of Stripe, the payments platform, and it was about the Irish language actually that he messaged me back. And so I got in touch with him because, as some of you might know, I'm planning and I'm working hard on a cloud-based spelling and grammar checker. So the Gurgadíon litroir agus gramador I broig san nail. Agus it's kind of a successor to Gaelspell and Anish and really bringing it that to the next level. And some of the people who've tried it have said it's Grammarly for the Irish language, which I think is a good analogy. So I'm working on that at the moment, ready for launch soon. And we're just getting the last bits and pieces together. And I realized that the Stripe payments platform we're going to use didn't have an Irish language translation. We a long time and you're even Gaelga. So Bechuilum gur bhunig dína éireannach bert éireannach an cólacht sin. So chuoi mé dagmhailm Twitter. So I remember that the founders were Irish, so I got in touch with them on Twitter and I just asked them, was Irish in their plans for localization? Were they going to release an Irish language version? A hashtag Gaeilge version. And pretty much immediately, Patrick Collison got back to me and said that they didn't have any immediate plans, but that it was a nice idea. So, I think that's a good outcome for a quick tweet. I'm just delighted that he engaged on the topic at all. And I was just reading a little bit about him on Wikipedia because I was telling my children there that himself and his brother were the two youngest self-made billionaires in the world ever when they made their first billion, as you do. I think they've got a few more since then. And they actually went to a Gael school as well. So I was delighted that they're engaged with the Irish language. But it reminded me as well that actually it's not that hard to translate a website into Irish anymore. It used to be a difficult thing. You know, you'd used to build a website in English and then you'd have to labor over the Irish translation and you'd have to rebuild the architecture. But the way websites and web apps are built now, it's actually trivial, almost trivial in the mathematical sense to create the Irish language version because they're built for multilingual implementation now. Now, of course, people aren't necessarily thinking about Irish when they build an app that's multilingual, but after they reach the Spanish audience and the French speaking audience, the German speaking audience, they start moving on to other languages. And you see that with Airbnb with their massive translation of their website as well, which I think took a team of 12 Irish translators to do just because of the sheer scale of it. So there's amazing things happening in terms of the infrastructure is all there. We don't have to build the infrastructure anymore. We just have to plug the language in. And we don't have to even plug the language in from scratch because so many websites have been translated before that we can use tools like the Microsoft Language Portal to actually not reinvent the wheel, but copy and paste the translation in. And then, of course, websites like Term and even Folklore have lots of useful technical terminology. So it's really been a game changer the last few years how all these websites have been built. And what that means is that the Irish language can now scale out and plug in to all these multilingual websites and start to bubble up in what's called international SEO and international search engine optimization. And I just think it's a really exciting time to be developing content in Irish. Sometimes we're not comfortable reading in Irish on the web, especially technical things. But because of the way websites are built now, we can mix and match and switch between languages very easily as users. So it's saoil anna himúil ar fada tá ann inis don bhilge Stephen na Gréasáin ar appan agus gachar mar sin agus chur an tatracht das sin a fu mé ras ó Patrick Collison é sin a gcuine dom. So hasú goim leart bhí sin ó héh dóchas níom ran dóchas is sé le seo, so hasú go just leart a héh dóchas agus just really hit an optimistic tone about the future of Irish because I was really reminded by that nice tweet I got back from Patrick Collison about, the real opportunities there are for getting Irish front and center using these web platforms because the technology is all in there. You just have to plug the language in now. And, I was just reminded as well that sometimes as Irish speakers, we just have to ask and people will translate the website into Irish for us because it's actually really easy to do these days. So, Sinead, I hope you have success writing in Irish this week, and maybe maybe just one time this week, send a message out, maybe on Twitter, maybe on Clubhouse, whatever platform you're using, and ask. Just ask someone to create the Irish version of their app or their website, and let's see what happens. Okay, go real like it. Slán.